if you bolt out of here within just a second of seeing decomposed material.
This was the first facility that we had. This was we poured a 16 by 16 foot concrete slab, put chain link around it, put the bodies in there to begin to look at what happens in decay. And we have bodies not only in here now, but over about a 3-acre area.
In the wintertime, the black plastic heats up and keeps the body warmer, and in the summer provides a nice, cool, shady place for the insects. We study human decomposition to help estimate the time since death for identification and investigative purposes. If you have a gunshot wound, that is a new opening for insect activity. And since you have this opening that wasn't there before, you're going to have more decomposition in that region. Everyone thinks of a burial as this mound, and after the body decomposes in the settling of the soil, you will see a depression. And a lot of times you can go and actually see the markings of the tool that was used to actually make the hole. If you look really close to this individual, it looks like the black plastic is moving. So what you're seeing for this individual is all of what's making the plastic move, especially up in the upper areas, are the maggots that you see crawling over the skin.
We want to now take you to show you one of the early processes of decay, and this is what's called skin slippage. In some cases, between the 3rd and about the 7th day, the epidermal layer of the hand, this is the outside layer with the fingerprints, sloughs off the hand. The hand looks like it's been in a hot tub a little bit too long, has wrinkles on it, and as the time continues, literally the epidermal layer will come off of the underlying dermis like a glove, and it's called degloving. In the degloving process, literally the fingerprints come off of the hand. It comes off on the epidermal layer, and the best means of identifying that individual is not then on the body, but it's on the glove that has come off the hand. Then what you want to do, bring it back to the lab. You put this in warm water overnight. You may put a little biz to make it feel softer the next morning. Next morning when you come in, you put rubber gloves on your hand, and you can slip the glove of the victim over your fingers, and you can print the victim that way.
The destruction that wastes at noonday. Brown and Driver says destruction by pestilence. Let's hold your place right there and look over to Deuteronomy 32. They shall then be burnt, starved, devoured with burning heat, consumed with pestilence and deadly plagues. That burning heat, there's a burning, means nuclear war. There's another one that is described as scorching heat, which you're going to also face. If you noticed, the temperature right now is about, I think, 20 or 30 degrees above normal. And this is going on all over the earth. You're going to see more of this. That scorching heat is also prophesied for our time period that we're in right now. So there's two of them. Remember it when you see it. The burning, that's the nuclear war. The scorching heat comes from the sun. I'll read again. They shall then be burnt, starved, devoured, and with burning heat, consumed with pestilence and deadly plague, the deadly instruments of this beastly system, and the polluted and deadly medicines. You remember the word in Revelations, it used sorceries, and I told you that Strong's yesterday, I told you it meant pharmaceuticals, drugs. This means deadly medicines.
Mike, welcome to the show. We appreciate you being on tonight.
Thanks for the invitation, Joe.
Okay, let's talk about the rat of the week. Why is bear corporation the rat of the week?
Internal documents show that after this company positively, absolutely knew that they had a medication that was infected with the AIDS virus, they took the product off the market in the U.S. and then they dumped it in France, Europe, Asia, and Latin America. The medicine's called Factor 8. It was an injection medicine that was used for hemophiliacs, mostly children. Children had been born with an incurable disease.
Hold on, Mike. So hold on. So you're telling me that Bayer knew that this drug was infected with the AIDS virus. They yanked it from the market in America, and then they dumped it in markets overseas?
They had to figure out a way, Joe, to make a profit on a product that they could not sell in America. So they made a huge profit. They dropped the product in Japan, Spain, and France.
It's like the man in Washington told me, you can't stop the nuclear industry. He says at that time it was an $850 billion a year industry. That's not the biggest. The drug industry is the biggest industry on the face of the earth. So, you know, they got the money.
By the way, Joe, government officials in France that allowed that to happen actually had to go to prison for it. In America, not one corporate executive for this company has been indicted or even criminally investigated by our Justice Department.
Why not? What, you're telling me that these people that dumped this AIDS-tainted blood in foreign countries, who killed children, have not been taken to task in the United States?
It's worse than that. The U.S. government allowed it to happen. The FDA allowed this to happen.
Now, if you remember, the American Medical Association was actually put on to make sure that every drug that came on the market was suitable and would not cause harm to the people. Well, of course, all drugs cause harm in some way that I know of. I don't know of one that doesn't.
The side effects include pain, swelling, itching and redness at the injection site, fever, nausea, or dizziness.
But they do not heal either. There's nothing, I don't know of any drug that will heal your body. This guy brings it out here. This doctor that wrote this actually brings this out.
And now the government is completely looking the other way. Thousands of innocent hemophiliacs have died from the AIDS virus, and not only they're dying, their family members are dying because they're becoming infected with the disease. This company knew absolutely that they had a problem with the product. They knew that it was infected with AIDS. They dumped it because they wanted to turn this disaster into a profit.
In Deuteronomy 28, if I can find it right quickly for you, Deuteronomy 28, and let's see, verse 22, Yahweh will strike with the consumption, with fever, with inflammation, with scorching heat. This is the one that comes from the sun, and also with war and with blasting, mildew. They will stay with you until you perish, and the heavens that is above your heads will be brass, and the earth underneath you shall be iron. Yahweh will make the rain of your land powder and dust. See that word dust? If you look that up in Strong's Concordance, you'll see the color of it. It gives the color of the fallout dust that comes down upon mankind, he says, until you are destroyed. Psalms 91 verse 6, destruction and waste at noonday comes from pestilence, from the pestilence, and he gives this verse to show also. Now, with dead bodies, he's talking about pestilence that comes with death here. In Strong's, if you look this word waste up, it means ruin, be consumed, decay. That's what a dead body starts doing. Once it's dead, it starts decaying. Wither, be diseased, disappear. The word also means to swell up. Did you get that? This destruction, this pestilence that comes here, the destruction that comes with pestilence, is speaking of dead bodies. Dead bodies. Get this in your mind. And it means, actually, that's what Strong says, to swell up. Why would it be saying this? To swell up, devastate, waste, disappear. To swell up. to swell up